Universal Design for Learning, or UDL, is a design framework that instructors can use to reduce barriers students face in the classroom and increase access to opportunities to succeed. This video will explore the three UDL guidelines, which have been developed and researched by the Center for Applied and Special Technologies and the National Center on Universal Design for Learning. Those three guidelines or principles are: instructors can provide multiple means of engagement or ways in which instructors can make content interesting, relevant, and motivating for students to learn. They can provide multiple means of representation of information to your students as they work to develop disciplinary knowledge, or ways to provide materials and resources using a range of presentation formats and techniques, and provide multiple means of action and expression as students seek to demonstrate that knowledge, or a variety of ways in which we assess how students demonstrate their skills and knowledge. Before we delve into what these three principles really mean and what they can look like in diverse classrooms, let's identify why CAST and the National Center on UDL emphasize these three ideas. Each of these three principles is based on a neurocognitive network in our brains. Providing multiple means of engagement activates the why network in our heads. You know, the questions of why should I even learn this, or when will I ever use this information? By engaging our learners, we can address these concerns and connect to our affective mental networks. Providing multiple means of representation of information activates the what network in our heads, the recognition pieces of our brain that understand and process content. By presenting information in more than one way, you can help your students to build deeper and more complete conceptual understandings. And providing multiple means of action and expression activates the how networks in our brain. That is, the strategic networks that allow us to take information we've learned and transform it into something meaningful and new. Encouraging and enabling your students to demonstrate their learning in lots of different but appropriate ways can help them develop more robust strategic mental networks. So, what might each of these principles look like in practice? Here's an overview of how instructors across disciplines can start to think about providing multiple means of engagement, representations, and expression in learning interactions with students. To motivate learners and give them a purpose, you can offer both group and individual work throughout a course, design opportunities for engagement and discussion online and face-to-face, and allow them to choose topics within an assignment's defined parameters based on their own interests. By building in different engagement opportunities, you can help students see the relevance of disciplinary knowledge in their academic, professional, and personal lives. Can you consider ways to build learning activities that have real-world purposes or audiences? These kinds of tasks might involve an in-depth, immersive experience or a hypothetical experience. To present information in diverse ways to students, you can offer text, visual, and oral information as appropriate. In other words, integrate readings, videos, visuals, infographics, and lectures. Provide rubrics that offer detailed instructions and in performance examples. And record class sessions, either in whole or in part, for students to review after class or in preparation for exams. Help learners to develop important vocabulary with things like a glossary of key terms, or provide a link to resources students can find information about important concepts and figures related to the content. Point out important relationships and structures to students with concept maps, text annotations, or short videos. Consider how you can chunk information into smaller content to help students manage it more effectively. And to offer different ways students can demonstrate their learning, you can offer flexibility and choice in the ways students demonstrate learning outcomes. For instance, either an in-class or pre-recorded presentation. Provide opportunities for feedback and revision of coursework throughout the class, and increase the number of low-stake assignments that help learners work toward course outcomes. Share checklists or guides for note-taking with your students and give them lecture outlines in advance of or after class so they can review content or build their note-taking abilities by giving them progressively less structured note guides. You can also give learners in your classroom examples of different ways to solve problems, both with real-life and academic examples. With writing intensive courses, consider how you can vary the length, purpose, and intended audience to help students see how writing exists across your discipline and its relevance across their personal and professional lives. Depending on your instructional setting, student population, and personal comfort levels, these principles can be no tech, low tech, or high tech. Nevertheless, UDL adopters often use technology due to the free and low cost tools that provide powerful learning possibilities. Not every strategy will work in every course or subject area, so it's important that you find the ones that you're comfortable with and that align with your goals for learners.